They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Hello everybody, once again this is Fred Wonko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on LNTV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you depending on where you are around the world. Today we're going to talk about Donald Trump because we are so excited about what Kamala did at that debate. But also remember, we have some clowning along the way, including Kamala calling Donald Trump a motherfucker. You know what I mean? A motherfucker. She called him that. Believe me, she did. She called him a motherfucker. Just wait till we get there.
This former president.
And in response to being called a motherfucker, all Donald Trump could say at the debate was talk about dogs and pets and cats. I mean, in a very incohesive way.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
Folks, elections are about choices. And people have the right to whatever their choice is. But this November, it's a different kind of election in America. It's an existential threat election. It's an election that calls for America voting one way and drifting into Russia, or America voting a different way and realigning and retooling and bringing out the best in what America's democracy was meant to be. We have to take this seriously. Listen to this keynote speaker at a graduation ceremony this summer. And this is not a typical Democrat. This is an independent. Listen to what he says.
There is no real choice this November. There is only the perpetuation, however flawed and feeble you might perceive it, of our fragile 249-year-old experiment, or the entropy that will engulf and destroy us if we take the other route. The presumptive Republican nominee is the opioid of all opioids, an easy cure for what some believe is the solution to our myriad pains and problems, when in fact, with him you end up re-enslaved with an even bigger problem, a worse affliction and addiction, a bigger delusion, James Baldwin would say. Do not be seduced by easy equalization. There is nothing equal about this equation. We are at an existential crossroads in our political and civic lives. This is a choice that could not be clearer.
Let me segue into it with a little humor coming from none other than Wanda Sykes, one of America's best comedians. Here's how she observed the moment that Kamala Harris couldn't take anymore, and she politely called Donald Trump a... Just watch. She called him a... You know what I mean.
I keep thinking about that debate. And the thing that stayed with me is how she was able to call him a motherfucker without calling him a motherfucker. That was genius.
It was genius. Seriously, Wanda, it was genius. But probably our listeners won't quite understand it. We got to show them how genius it was. Let's show them.
This former president.
Did you guys see that? Did you hear that? She called him this former president. This former president. Listen again.
This former president.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Before we conclude, I think it's important to know who Governor Christie, a Republican, will be voting for. At least know who he's not going to be voting for.
Trump is not who I'm voting for. You take that to the bank.
How politely can you call a motherfucker a motherfucker?
This former president
Come on, Miss Vice President. America wants to hear it. Call him what he is.
this former president
And on that note, once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Allen TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Onye ọma zoro obi o, akwa nwa zoro obi o, Maxi ịbịa bunyegokwanụ m n'ofu ube n'azụ ụlaga n'ịbịazigo, mmanwụ ụlaga do n'ịbịazigo, akwa nwa ilochi o, biko rapụ zoro ka ọ nabazi ya. Kenelu bikechefo ama kwa mnika gogodia waligwe kwelo ikejo mabele bege hey ibo Odogo kenelu bikechefo kwa mnika gogodia waligwe kwelo ikejo mabele bege hey ibo Eku kampu nekene Omogo ndị nsọ Chukwu negaje esi nwanne m ekene dị ịlapụlụ ife niile na-eme wee bịa ka gosili na anyị na gị bụ nwanne Wisdom ga-adị ka nye gị maịkị ka ogobanya bụ egwu isili Maxi ọ bụ na-etiri egwu a malụkwa malụ n'imego m ife ọjọọ wee sị gị nwanne m ife ọkụ na-echọlụ na ngeme Wisdom onume ekene gị gbamanwe iyo biko lapụ nabasị ya zoro 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 duru joy na bugwu Hausa Sokoto ojembe enwilo anụ solo nwe nwe ma n'ọfịa na-ara onye nwụrụ